Hello, welcome to another Why a Comic Book So Addictive video. Um, One of the questions that that I receive often over the past 6 years is conventions. Since I returned to the hobby in 2008, 2009, I only been to two conventions, and both experiences left me not wanting to go back. Uh, I was very active in going to multiple conventions prior to this period, especially in my early years in Boston from 1989 to 2000, 1989 to 1991, those 2 or 3 years in Boston. There was a small convention in a hotel downtown Boston. I'm sure those that live in Boston know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, there's one every few months, at least twice a year. I know the 3 years I lived there, I went to probably five of those conventions right there in that hotel. And the hotel, the, the convention scene up until that point, up until 1992 for me were very fun. I can tell you, I look forward to convention. I make a big list of what I'm looking for, um, and I carry a little bag with me. Those days, I don't recall seeing people with backpack, the big backpack that very common these days. That kind of bugs me because it's making it so hard to move in a tight aisle with people standing over the boxes, and then the backpack stick out another foot into the aisle. It's just a different time period, and it was never crowded. Sure, there's a short line to enter into the convention, even in the mid '80s, early '80s when I attended my first convention. It was never crowded. I rarely felt that I have to wait to see something. Sure, sometimes there's somebody that's standing right there looking at the box that I want to see, but there are so many other things around that I can look at, and I didn't have to feel frustrated. And those days, and I brought this up in many videos. I remember going to many of these conventions, and you see original arts, and I just walk right by it. It's amazing to me to even now to reflect back to see how many missed opportunities there were. I would walk right past a table with a bunch of Jack Kirby, Gene Colan, Buscema original art for they were like $100, $50. Instead, I walk right past them so that I can check out the X-Men '94 on the wall of the dealer that I'm trying to buy for $50. It's amazing. The kind of thing that went on in the '90s, and I put a link below for those that want to relive the convention history. It's an awesome site. I get lost at this site for hours, days, and weeks. There is even a Jack Kirby recording of the very first San Diego Comic Con convention. There was like almost like a 50-minute long talk. I bet Jack was on stage and he would talk about the business, the industry. It's interesting to hear Jack talk, and I I heard Jack talk many times, so this is very typical of the way Jack talk about his creative. Mr. Kirby talk about his creative process and how he approached the business and all that. But it's neat. There's a bunch of interviews of creators, people that organize a convention, and then if you go to the link of that website, there's all kind of write-ups from many of the early conventions, including pictures where you see black and white pictures of the convention, where it's a little convention hall with maybe 20 dealers with some boxes and barely 50 people walking around. It's night and day from what it is today, but it's great to go back and look at that. So I highly encourage those that enjoy history of convention to check out that link and surf around it. There are so much in that site. And then I also put a link below to a video that I see many times, and every time I watch it, I enjoyed it. I'm sure many people have seen it, but it's a documentary on comic books in 1993. Many of the footage of this video was shot at San Diego Comic-Con in 1993. It's funny to see how the convention reflect what was hot at the time, because young or old, mostly young people that was interviewed in the documentary was, they would say that their favorite authors or comic book at the time would be Todd McFarlane and Spawn. This is 1993. But even then, even in those old footage in 1993, as you can see in San Diego, it was not crazy. Sure, it's crowded, but if you watch the video, it's not wall-to-wall people that you can't even move. The last time I went to San Diego Comic-Con back in 2010, wow, what a nightmare. The comic area is so small and that's not crowded. You can walk around easily, but to fight through the few different halls just to get to the comic book section was just a nightmare. You got the toy section, you get the movie section, you get the TV section, you get it's fantasy section. It was just not for me. I want to go back, but I'm not sure how I can make it a fun experience unless I'm just gonna go and hang outside and chat with my friends and just watch people. That's the fun part. The fun part is to sit there and watch the costume, watching the people having fun, dressing up, all that stuff. But going inside, I'm not sure about that part. But even as convention wasn't as big as they were today, back in the 70s or the 80s, much effort was put into them. Okay, much effort was put into them. They were not haphazardly thrown together. They were well organized. They were well advertised, I believe, in my opinion, and a lot of effort to put on a good show, especially in New York. In New York, you get Phil Selig, the famed dealer slash distributor, and he throw a big convention in New York every year. And I have a couple of his convention book. Here's one, 1977 Comic Art Convention. Back in those days, the big convention are I think the Philly, the New York, and then you have the San Diego Comic Con and maybe Chicago. There's 4 or 5 major con in the 70s. And if you look at this book, this is like a program book. You will pay $3, and then you get this in here. This great article. I mean, I don't have my camera with me today, so that's why I'm shooting this video this way. But once I have the camera set up, I will do a video showcasing these convention book, because inside, like this book, have a great article on Bernie Wrightson, and then there's a lot of beautiful sketches. Okay, a lot of beautiful sketches inside by artists, and I think many of these sketches are specifically done for the convention, because I think these are like collector items. Look at that. That's an early Walter Simonson sketch of Thor, of Iron Man. Okay, so that's one. And then, like I said, there's all kind of stuff in here. And then it's also, look at that. See, if you back then you buy this book, they have even blank pages in the back where you can get autograph and sketches. I have seen some of these older convention book on eBay where people have a bunch of signatures and sketches, and they sell them for hundreds of dollars. It's pretty cool. I mean, but if you have this book, for example, look at the beautiful back cover. Gorgeous copy. This is like a mint, never opened. You know, so if you look at something like this, a lot of effort went into making them. And so, you know, for sure, even though the hobby was not as big as it is today, much effort put into making the convention experience something special. Okay, and that's it for this video. For sure, please check out those links below and enjoy that, because I have a blast at those sites and watching that video. Thanks for watching.